Eva Baroni Combs, yes, it was breaking news. Diddy adopted a white child. I want you to tell Dr. Jew, because I felt that you could, enjoy also having a black parent to take care of you and help you out.
A lot of things that people do that end up sitting and they can't get over it. And they got to keep getting high, hoping to get it out of their head. But when you lose your man card.
Terrence Howard just mishandled some vital evidence, and it could have revealed something weird. He's now caught up in accusations that he was supposedly following his adoptive daughter, Ava, and believe this scenario is going to deteriorate pretty rapidly. We all believed Tamra Tower had finally washed her hands of Diddy, particularly when she dropped the news that Diddy attempted to make a move on him. But guess what? Terrence could have been holding back some major tea on that podcast. And now it's boiling over. The feds aren't playing either. They recently revised the indictment against Diddy. 2 more charges was added to the case, and there's even a rearrangement of the existing ones. Word on the street, Ava is purportedly mentioned as one of the new victims. Can you believe that? And if that wasn't surprising enough, it's reported that she's planning to take the stand and testify against Diddy in court.
Did you ever have the opportunity where you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in and make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back.
The same Terrence who leaked a bit on the podcast, but now it appears like it was only the tip of the controversy iceberg. He said Diddy attempted to pull him into something private, and now others are wondering what else he's been concealing. During the same intense chat, Terrence dropped another bomb. He added he's not the first black guy Diddy reportedly attempted to do anything dirty with. According to him, there's a worrying trend where Diddy targets black males at those iconic freakoff events. And the way Terrence broke it down, they weren't just crazy parties, they were setups. He stated Diddy reportedly arranged these gatherings to knock guys down psychologically and emotionally, take away their confidence and dignity. It wasn't just about partying, it was about control. Terrence made it very obvious. This wasn't some isolated occurrence, this was a sick routine. And though he didn't name names, he implied loud and clear that there are other prominent figures in the industry who went through the same horror but stayed silent, out of straight-up fear, humiliation, or both. Terrence described Diddy as someone who preys on black men, pimped out by some overgreeted desire.
Those things. But when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the Puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Got punked out and pimped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man.
Terrence portrayed Diddy as someone who preys on black males when they're at their most vulnerable, and framed it like a horrible, deliberate pattern that's been going behind the scenes for years. Naturally, the internet lost its mind over those accusations. But just when we thought Terrence had told it all, insiders began buzzing again, alleging he's still keeping something back. And get this, the rumors indicate that whatever he's concealing might smash the internet once it drops. Then came that Twitter video. Terrence appeared frightened yet determined, and he implied he was being threatened by extremely strong individuals. He didn't drop names, but he made one thing very plain. If they pushed him any further, he'd air out all he knows. And just so no one missed the message, Terrence made it very apparent that he was referring to the Diddy scandal when he threw in the hashtag #ManCard, the same term he used during his podcast Bombshell. Now it's beginning to appear like Terrence is finally letting the truth leak out. And word on the street, it's supposedly related to Diddy's adoptive daughter, Ava Barone, and what truly went down with her.
And if you're going to speak against me, then use the same courage that it took for me to say those truths. Man to man, eye to eye, integrity and in truth. I've spent a lifetime earning the right to speak with the conviction about these truths that I speak. So if you want to tear that down, have the decency to come and say it directly to my face. And say it like a man. The conclusions. But we're going to do this respectfully, otherwise we'll end in a duel. And I mean a duel, real life duel, where only one person walks away.
For years, fans have been raising eyebrows and asking concerns about Ava's enigmatic tale. And based on what Terrence is now hinting at, it's sounding grim, real dark. Fans online are beginning to suspect that Ava could have been one of Diddy's alleged victims. Now, and if that's true, this scenario is going to take a terrible turn for both Diddy and Ava. Let's rewind to 2020, when it's smack in the middle of the epidemic, when Diddy released a very unexpected bombshell. Out of nowhere, he announced he had adopted a little white girl called Ava Barone Combs. Just like that. No setup, no history. She was suddenly a Combs brought to the world like a shiny new ornament. Diddy even went on Instagram Live.
My name's Ava. I'm a Scorpio.
No. What's your last name?
Ava Combs.
What's your other last name?
Ava Barone.
Ava Barone Combs? Yes, it's breaking news. Diddy adopted a white child. I want you to tell them the story about how I adopted you. But you still have beautiful parents but you're my child also. But please tell the story.
So, I was on the streets, and then Papa Combs decided that he would like to be a caring man. So then he saw me and decided to pick me up and said to come inside and play with his kids.
Hey, that's like a little bit like borderline suspect. I don't want nobody. We want to get it clear. I adopted you like Madonna adopted kids, and everybody else adopted kids. Charlize Theron, everybody that's ever adopted Sandra Bullock. I adopted you because I felt that you could, enjoy also having a black parent to take care of you and help you out. So just clarify, because it's crazy out here online. So you play with the kids, and I got permission from your mother. Say all of that, because it's crazy out here.
I met Jesse and Delilah when I was 6 months old.
6 months.
And then basically sisters, all 4 of us. So.
6 months.
I always come over.
Yes. And it's Ava Barone Combs. Let's go.
That whole incident with Ava was so unexpected and hasty, folks either shrugged it aside or forgot about it totally. And to be truthful, Ava hasn't really been brought up at all since then. Which probably explains why her name didn't rise back up until Diddy's legal drama started flooding the media and individuals starting digging things back up. At the time, Diddy's announcement appeared like a feel-good gesture, and adopting a child during a pandemic when so many youngsters were suffering felt like a stand-up thing to do. People congratulated him for stepping in, for bringing stability while the globe was in upheaval. It had that celebrity with a heart vibe. But now, with all the alarming rumors floating about him, that same video of him introducing Ava suddenly seems extremely wrong. Something about it just doesn't sit right anymore. What formerly came across as heroic is now giving them goosebumps and severe side-eye. And that's not the only red flag. Diddy even went on record comparing his adoption of Ava to Madonna's. And that alone had mouths dropping because, let's be honest for a moment, that was a bold move. All these tales has been around the business for a long time. All these business individuals know that Diddy been behaving like this and doing this and attempt to interact. Yo, it's a lot of tales that gets around in this profession concerning not only him.
It's craziness, man. And you know what's so crazy is, bruh, that all these stories has been around the industry for a long time. All these industry people know that Diddy been acting like this and doing this and try to engage. Yo, it's a lot of stories that goes around in this industry about not just him, other people. Jimmy Iovine. Ain't nobody talking about Jimmy Iovine. He got charges and everything on him, but he got those publicists that's keeping it out off of CNN, is keeping it off the major news reports. Nobody's talking about that. This is something that goes on, man, that they're gonna push up under the rug, and a few years later, Bad Boy 5, 6, 7, 8 will be out.
Multiple individuals have questioned if every stage of her journey followed correct legal protocols. A few years ago, the Ethiopian World Federation came out swinging at Madonna, accusing her of human slavery. They said she deceived families by offering their kids school possibilities in the U.S., only to turn around and adopt them entirely. That affair caused widespread indignation. So the fact that Diddy stated he based his adoption after hers? Yes, that raised significant concerns. Just that one choice already had some asking what was actually going on. But now, there's much more that's got folks talking. That Instagram video Diddy uploaded with Ava, it's not just what he said, it's the odd atmosphere in the room that has admirers probing deeper. Viewers couldn't help but notice that his boys were front and center. But Ava, not so much. And fans have been asking the same question again and over. If Ava wanted to hang around or play with Diddy's girls, why weren't they brought forward? Why was she surrounded solely by the boys? That question stung hard, but the most unnerving part, Ava's face. People caught up on her body language instantly. She appeared rigid, stiff, and plainly uncomfortable. Her look was all wrong at a time that was intended to be pleasant, and that's what really set up the rumors. Was it simply a touch of discomfort in front of the camera? Or was something considerably deeper going behind the scenes? Some others are now persuaded that the overall mood in that room was weird. And when you take in that Diddy's boys have their own messy headlines, things grow even creepier. Justin was mentioned in the Little Rod case, and Christian's been tied up in his own legal problems. So yes, the atmosphere in that room with Ava, it may have been more than just uncomfortable, and it might have been straight up off. But the greatest red sign of all, Ava essentially disappeared after that video. Aside from a few of blink and you miss it moments when she was glimpsed near Diddy's twin children, Jesse and Delilah, Ava entirely vanished. No more family trips, no more live streaming, no birthday shout-outs, just straight up quiet. It's like she was wiped from the limelight just as fast as she was put in it. And here's the deal, Diddy had her calling him Papa Combs. That's not some casual moniker. That seems profound, like he was aiming to be a true father figure. So why did she suddenly disappear off the face of the earth?
It's going to come to the forefront. Now, what they're looking for, because it was going on the premises of, they're looking for pictures of girls that may appear to be underage in a context. Like they in a act. That's what they're looking for. So now they're gonna go through all those devices. If somebody got any kind of weird that they got little kids or little girls or something like that in any kind of pictures or any kind of photos that they took out of there.
According to Gene, Ava wasn't simply mistreated, she was reportedly exploited. He said the adoption was nothing but a deliberate maneuver, a cold, calculated marketing gimmick to make Diddy appear like a hero during the epidemic. Gene didn't sugarcoat it. He stated once Diddy received the compassion and attention he sought, Ava was tossed to the side like she'd never ever lived, simply abandoned. You understand? It's going to come to the forefront. Now, what they're searching for, since it was going on the principles of they looking for photographs of females who may seem to be underage in a setting like they on an app. That's what they're searching for. So now they're go through all those gadgets. If somebody got any kind of weird that they got little kids or little girls or something like that in any kind of pictures or any kind of photos that they took out of there, according to him, he found a little homeless girl, pulled her into the spotlight under the illusion of adoption, and acted like he was giving her a new life. But behind the scenes, it was allegedly all just for the cameras. Gene characterized it as a performance, false smiles, false fatherhood, fake everything. And as the cameras switched off, so did the performance. He portrayed an image of a guy who never actually meant to care for Ava, simply someone using her as a prop for power. Now, Gene didn't go as far as to accuse Diddy outright of injuring Ava, but he clearly stirred the water. He provided hefty clues that something sinister may have gone down, and even hinted that many within the business already knew who Diddy truly is. Let's just say, the tea, it wasn't just hot, it was burning. Sadly, Gene could be on the money when it comes to how the business likes to turn a blind eye, and we've seen it time and time again. R. Kelly, Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, all prominent guys, all sheltered for years while victims suffered in silence. And even in Cassie's case, she straight out alleged Diddy was always surrounded by enablers, individuals who either ignored the mess or flat out helped cover it up. So as Gene began delivering bombshells, folks couldn't help but think, what more has been concealed behind the velvet curtain all these years? And here's when it takes a scary turn. Gene mentioned that Diddy reportedly had some really problematic films with Ava, videos that weren't simply improper, but perhaps unlawful. According to him, federal agents have even been aggressively hunting for those videos because they think they're authentic. If that's true, this whole issue moves from dodgy to straight out scary. And guess who else could have been sitting on this mess long before the receipts began coming out? 50 Cent. Word is, he's had intimate data on Diddy's nasty side for years, but back then, some laughed him off and claimed he was just being petty, envious, or still resentful that Diddy didn't sign him when he was on the come-up. To be honest, there could be some truth to it too. We all know 50 doesn't let go of meat. That guy is the uncontested king of grudges. Petty flows in his veins like a superpower. So honestly, it's no surprise that 50 Cent's rivalry with Diddy never cooled up, particularly given he's also been beefing with Diddy's ride-or-die DJ Z for years. But here's when things turn far more nasty, because 50 began throwing cryptic clues that there's much scarier information being kept under wraps by the government. He once stated, "This is why they put that tape out. They know they can't prosecute him with what we saw, but they know we can't unsee what we saw." That right there sent shivers over the internet. According to one source, 50 reportedly got his hands on genuine proof related directly to Diddy and presumably Ava. And get this, that evidence is apparently going to be presented in his next documentary. For perspective, 50 said last year that he was working on a full expose-type doc titled Diddy Do It, and he's been promoting it like it's his next blockbuster. He dropped GLG, Greenlight Gang, another one, and kept saying, "Here come the receipts." He also put in a hard hit, stating, "I thought Diddy was a rich music mogul. If he's wise, he'll file for bankruptcy." Anyone with actual money understands why I'm saying this. I'm the best producer for the job. It was brash, it was loud, and it was dismissed at the time, primarily because the attention was on Diddy's other controversies, Ava's name had slipped into the background, but that hush ruptured when Terrence began indicating he knew something substantial about her. Then bang! The authorities came out swinging with a newly revised indictment against Diddy. And this time, they weren't holding back. They added 2 more anonymous persons to the case and gave some scary new facts. According to the latest indictment, at all periods relevant to this indictment, Sean Combs, the defendant, engaged in a continuous and pervasive pattern of abuse against women and others. That abuse, they claimed, occurred in verbal, emotional, and physical forms, and it wasn't simply random. It was part of a twisted, ongoing pattern. The records suggest Diddy lured women into taking part in meticulously organized shows, sometimes only with him and male commercial staff. Let it sink in. And it gets worse. They claim Diddy and his crew made arrangements to fly these ladies in, sometimes with male personnel too, just to make sure everything was set up precisely the way he wanted it. And how did he keep them in line? The accusation alleges he kept control via money, career manipulation, housing, and plain-out threats. He wielded his power like a weapon, providing aid, then snatching it away if people didn't play along. Financial assistance, rent, professional relocation, all of it used like bait. But here's where the pressure really strikes. The new allegations accuse Diddy and his team of utilizing the power and prestige of his Combs Enterprise brand to bully, threaten, and attract women into his circle. Many were pulled in under the false premise of a love connection, and once they were there, that's when the compulsion started. According to the indictment, Diddy utilized force, threats, and deception to coerce these women, branded female 1, 2, and 3, into commercial acts, and in exchange he threw them money, professional privileges, paid their rent, and covered their housing. Some of those commercial actions alarmingly included male commercial personnel too, and were apparently alluded to by Diddy himself. But the specific language was kept out. Like even the feds didn't want to say what he termed it. And then came that term, the one that keeps cropping up in the court records, freakoffs. According to FBI investigators, these weren't simply crazy parties. They were manufactured performances, complex, written, and directed by Diddy himself. He supposedly masterminded every aspect. And sure, several of them were purportedly captured electronically. The authorities believe these freakoffs weren't simply local either. Diddy, with help from members and associates of the Combs Enterprise, allegedly arranged for commercial workers to be transported across state lines, and even globally. This wasn't casual, this was planned, calculated, and worldwide. And here's where it gets darker. Diddy is accused of forcing women to sleep with other guys during these events for money. Not asking, forcing. But before we go any further, let's be 100% clear the ladies engaged in this didn't consent. According to the FBI, Diddy reportedly compelled at least one lady into these actions and then forced her to accept cash afterward. Why?